Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brandon, also known as Branmatt, and welcome back to yet another StarCraft II replay. Today we have two very good Grandmasters players that we're going to be featuring here on Derelict Watcher. Only two spawn locations on this map, in the top right-hand corner and in the bottom left-hand corner. So spawning up here as our red Terran player, in the top right-hand corner is TeamIM's MVP. MVP is a very good player, has proven himself time and time again, and even in the tournaments that he doesn't come in first place, he still proves he is a very good player. He still places very high in tournaments, he's very good at what he does. So I'm interested in what's going to happen from our Terran player today. And of course, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg player is Jimmy. Jimmy has also been a very good player in the Grandmaster ladder. I've seen quite a few of his games before. I've also watched some of the replays, so he's a pretty good player in my opinion, and I think he is a force to be reckoned with, so I think it should be a pretty even match between MVP and Jimmy. Of course, we just see the typical overlords going across the map now. Just want to spot what they can spot. Obviously, as I said before, there is only two spawn locations, so there's not much places for him to scout. He just wants to see what MVP is doing. And obviously, supply depot going down, we can probably expect to see the barracks in just a few seconds here. As he is at 13 supply, he might be going for a 14 barracks. It does seem like he will. So he's going to throw down that 14 barracks here. And nothing out just yet. There's a spawning pool. So he has a spawning pool out in his base. And of course, the other overlord moved across the map. Looks like this overlord is going to attempt moving. Jeez, where is he going? He looks like he's going the whole way around. He wants to just maybe poke in the back here, maybe see any refineries or any structures hidden back here. We also see this natural expansion coming out for Jimmy. So Jimmy's going to throw down this expansion after he's already thrown down his spawning pool, so we'll be able to get out a few units to defend if he so chooses. And MVP also is throwing down his expansion. He's about halfway done, so he's opting to go for a command center and a barracks here. This is what his wall off is going to be for now, and this is interesting that he is going for such an early aggressive play. They have not scouted each other just yet, I believe. If we check, they have not scouted each other at all. So, both completely unaware, but both are going for early expansions. This barracks will finish up and immediately start putting units down here. He's probably going to throw down a bunker right there at the front, just to defend off any zergling run-bys that we may see. This command center is probably immediately going to lift off as well and settle down in that expansion. No units out just yet for Jimmy aside from this queen. He is producing a second queen as well, and also has not started any research or anything like that. Has one extractor up. The second base is just finishing up now. He's going to start producing drones for that, just droning up, getting overlords, getting those queens out. So he's going to have the queens for general defense, but he's not opting to go for any sort of zerglings just yet, so we probably won't see any pressure, especially at this point in the game. If he is going to try, he might try a little later, but right now it seems like he's just going to opt for sitting back. He's going to sit tight in his base and continue producing drones and getting up that economy. Also has quite a few Marines out. That SCV, 1 health. He should get a medal. He escapes with 1 health. That's actually really rare to ever see a unit get out with that close. We did see a replay, if you've seen other replays in my channel, with a Nexus, I believe, getting away with like really low health as well. I think it was 4 health it got away with. So recently we've been getting quite a few replays that I've been casting that have been really low health units. So don't know what that trend is all about, but maybe we'll see a few more replays like that. Now, this overlord is finally making his way to the back of the base. Might be able to scout a little bit out here. He has that refinery. He might be able to scout that refinery. Also, command center again. So he's going to have a third base. Completing this wall off here. So he's going to have this bunker. And the zerglings are not going to be able to get any sort of run by. So he's going to have those supply depots up. Continuing to produce SCVs. And it looks like over here, he's opting to go for the lair. Almost finishing up the lair here. Has 1, 2, 3, 4 extractors up. That's a lot of extractors. And it makes me wonder, there we go, there's the spire. So I think he's probably going to go for heavy mulisks. Because again, if we look, there is absolutely no zerglings on the field and there is no zerglings in production. Now we have the 2 evolutions chambers in here at the very front of the base. to provide somewhat of a wall off. Also has that spine crawler at the front, so any sort of early pressure will be easily knocked off. And these two Hellions gonna pop up here. Might see the expansion that was just thrown down here at the third base. Jimmy, it looks like it will be spotted, so Jimmy is gonna continue that expansion. It looks like MVP is not content on killing it. He might just want to get some drone kills at this point, not really worried about canceling any sort of bases. I'm gonna have to see if he pokes up in the base just yet. That spine crawler just reburrowing. Might be able to get off a poor lonely drone kill here. Will he? Will he? He will see this drone though. He will get that kill off. One extractor. Oh, and he does not make it in time to be promoted to an extractor. So sorry that drone kill off, but it was for the swarm. This extractor here also started up, so it looks like he's probably going to go for a lot of Mutalisks. I would not be surprised because Spire just finishing now, and immediately we see 6 Mutalisks queued as well as the Zerg flyer attacks. So he's trying to probably produce as many Zerglings as he can with as much damage as he can. Might lose one of these Hellions here. One Hellion ends up dying off, not getting any shots off. This second Hellion might get out of the base, but again, there is a second Queen over here as well as that spine crawler. Will he be able to get any attacks off? And no, he actually will not. I think he might have spotted, MVP might have seen the Mutalisks here, but really not able to get anything effective off here. Moving in. We'll be able to poke at that Overlord, but I think the Overlord should be able to get out just fine. Maybe? Go. There we go. He gets out just fine. And this big Mutalisk pack coming out might get a Marine kill. That poor Marine sacrificed, not really worth it. So that poor Marine dies off, and we're going to see the siege tank sieging up. Mutalisk might poke in here. Immediately we have quite a few missile turrets for pressure, so this will be able to push out a small pack of Mutalisks like we see here. I believe, yes, there's only 6 Mutalisks, so he's probably going to be easily pushed off, especially with these missile turrets. We have missile turrets in the back of the base here for MVP at his main. Also producing even more missile turrets, so he wants to make sure no Mutalisks get into the base. Causing a little bit of harassment, poking here and there. Those Marines might be able to get off a few kills. One Mutalisk seems to go down, but enough missile turrets and Marines at this point to make it seem like there really won't be any problem with pushing off these Mutalisks who keep poking into the base. Spreading out creep, preventing that third base from being placed down just yet for MVP. But he does have that orbital command. I think he's just using it for production as well as mill call downs at this point, maybe even a few scanner sweeps a little later in the game. Putting down a supply depot in the very front of his base for some vision. Also has creep spreading down here, so he's really going to prevent these sort of expansions, and it seems like the Marines are going to take out this Overlord down here on the right side. He might be planning on getting another expansion, and wow, the Mutalisk force engaging with the Marines here. Marines poking, has stim, might be able to get off a few Mutalisk kills. There we go. And these Zerglings coming in probably to clean up this army. Might be able to get a little bit of a surround. He does have those 2 medevacs there, but those medevacs can easily be cleaned up by this pack of Mutalisks. They are stimming, trying to get out of there. Wow. Quite a meetup here. These Widowmines might be able to get off a few kills on those Marines, or excuse me, on the Mutalisks. 2 AMs. Might be able to get a few shots off on those Mutalisks. Taking on a few of those Mutalisks, but nothing too damaging for Jimmy here. Might be able to get off a third base kill as well. MVP just landing that base, opting to pull it back. These Marines are really low health, will probably all die off very quickly. Siege Tank even killing off these units. Really low health. Essentially, if this Mutalisk pack decides to engage those Marines, while he might lose a few Marines, essentially all these Marines are just dead. It seems like the Siege Tank is going to be killing them off as well. Getting off a few shots with those Widow Mines, also able to get a few kills with those Widow Mines. Marine pack keep trying to get those Mutalisks pushed back. 2 Changelings killed off there as well. Quite a few Mutalisks on the field. If we check a total unit count, it seems that he has 21 Mutalisks, and does he have any more in production? He has 3 more in the production tab, so he's continuing to produce these Mutalisks, and quite an engagement here. Quite a few Marines being killed off, but Mutalisks losing quite a few of them for Jimmy. Jimmy actually loses an Overlord and is now supply blocked. So MVP, it seems, will be able to push off that Mutalisk force, that Mutalisk and Zergling force will have to push back here. That third base is up as well, but when we look at economy, Jimmy has the bigger economy by just slightly a little bit. And he will also throw down this third base here for MVP, start mining with mules, and probably start transferring quite a few SCBs over here, getting 2 additional refineries as well. Building up his army, seems like MVP is just going to focus very much on the Marines here. Not going to really opt for siege tanks, which makes clear sense, especially when you're up against so many mutalisks. That Overlord still spreading creep, doing his job. And mutalisks and zerglings may be engaging. The mutalisks actually pull off here. That's actually really good. We'll probably be able to easily clean up these missile turrets. Probably get a lot of kills here, as well as maybe even kill off this base. These Marines stimming in. Mutalisks pulling back as quickly as possible. Does not want to lose those. That was actually a really good engagement by Jimmy. It seems like he tricked MVP by pushing in those zerglings. And then MVP immediately goes, oh, zerglings, that's where his army is, let's head into them, and peels off those mutalisks, getting off quite a few kills, it seems. And third base was under attack. There's quite a few Marines attempting to drop here, and will quickly be cleaned up by the zerglings. So it seems that more barracks are coming up as well. At the front of this base, wants to continue producing as many Marines as possible. How many barracks? He has quite a few barracks. It seems like 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe? So he might have a total of about 8 barracks here. And also has an additional factory coming down with a tech lab. So he might be able to go for quite a bit more siege tanks. There we go. Probably be able to say that. And that Widowmine is quickly killed off after getting 1 shot off. Not really much damage being dealt there. The Marines coming out will probably get cleaned up right away. That medevac quickly killed off. It looks like Jimmy actually has just built up a force here that he can force MVP into submission, able to probably kill off this third base as well, getting a ton of kills off on workers. That third base does go down. Not much of an army left for MVP, producing as quickly as possible, but there are so many zerglings and mutalisks at this point. It really doesn't matter that he has that siege tank and just this handful of Marines. Widowmine's not even buried or burrowed. And these Marines quickly going down, even with medevacs against these zerglings. Still only a handful of Marines left, not much of a force, and here's a bunch more Marines here. And, ooh, this Mulus pack taking quite a bit of damage. And over here we see, I think that was another drop. Widowmine's being quickly cleaned up, has this Baneling nest, so he might try to go for a few more Banelings. These Marines pushing out quickly, and he might try to engage here again. MVP looks like he's building up a force, might be able to get a complete surround off here. Jimmy's able to completely surround all those Marines. Mulus and Marine Zerglings are making quick work of these Marines. More and more Marines coming in, a ton of Marines actually. This might be able to push back those Mulus. Mulus taking quite a bit of damage, or might actually lose quite a few of those Mulus here. Marines quickly being healed up by those medevacs, quite a few medevacs here. But it just looks like a handful of Marines. He might be in for a lot of trouble, especially against a Mulus pack like this one. Additional Widowmines coming along as well. Moving up here, and just we see Marines just across the entire map. He's really into this whole pressure. He wants to kill off as many as possible. But there's so many Mulus, and with the army segregated up as much as it is, he's probably being able to quickly clean up this force. All these Marines quickly being cleaned up. Might lose quite a few mutalisks, but still, it just seems like MVP has lost hope. He just has so many units going across the map. Will probably all end up dying. Losing quite a few mutalisks, it does seem, and if we look at the workers killed is a total of 27 for Jimmy, with those engagements with the mutalisks, but also killing off a total of 218 of MVP's units. But MVP got quite a few kills as well, 332. So MVP is causing quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't seem like he's getting off all the kills that he needs to. Constantly building up these Zerglings and Mutalisks. More Marines on the way for MVP as well. Seems like these guys were misrallied, and they're probably just going to step into a bad place. There we go. Quickly being pulled back here. Widowmines also seems will be pulled back. Maybe we'll try to burrow them here. It looks like MVP is content on doing yet another attack. And these Banelings could be highly threatening. And that Widowmine even killed off before he's able to get any shots off. And these Marine forces will probably be quickly cleaned up again. Quite a few Banelings here as well. Will probably be able to cause a ton of damage if they're able to get any connections. And all of those Marines are getting awfully close to those Banelings. Might be able to get a few shots off. Actually doing a really good job at keeping those Marines separated, as well as killing off quite a few of those Banelings. And this force, no matter whether or not he makes the connections with those Banelings, it seems it really won't even matter. These Marines quickly killed off, and GG comes out for MVP. So congratulations to Jimmy for taking the win in that game. MVP doing really well, going for a heavy bio army, but it seems like Jimmy just constantly had more mutalisks and zerglings. Banelings eventually coming in. They really didn't matter though, because Jimmy already had such an overwhelming force. So congratulations to him for winning the game. Thank you all for watching. Leave your comment below with your thoughts on the game. What did you think about each player and how they did? And also be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would be super awesome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.